After the war, freedom had been won, but peace did not come easy. Across the young nation, farmers found themselves buried in debt. Crops had failed, markets were unstable, and the promises of victory felt far away. Now, new taxes demanded payment in hard coin, something many simply did not have. Land they had fought for was still theirs, but holding on to it was becoming a different kind of battle. At first, it was quiet. A few words between neighbors, spoken low, out of earshot. Questions began to spread. Is this what we fought for? Another government making demands we cannot meet? The whispers became conversations, and the conversations became concern. Not just one man, but many. Not just one farm, but entire communities. Something was wrong, and everyone could feel it. So then they stopped whispering. Men began to stand together, not in anger, but in resolve. They would not be pushed further, not again. Word spread quickly, and those in power took notice. Meetings were held, concerns raised, and decisions had to be made, because this could not be ignored. Soon, two sides stood apart, not yet at war, but no longer united. The distance between them felt greater than ever before, and the question remained, would this new nation hold together? Soon, there was no ignoring it. The presence of authority stood directly across from the people, and the space between them carried more weight than any argument ever could. This was no longer something that could be talked through quietly. It was real. The people stood their ground, the government stood in response, and for the first time, the strength of this new nation would be tested not by an outside force, but from within. Just as quietly as it rose, the tension began to settle. No victory, no surrender, just a moment that had pushed everyone to the edge and stopped short of breaking. The people returned to their work. Fields still needed tending, fences still needed mending. Life did not wait for perfect answers. It simply carried on. The lines that were drawn would not be forgotten, and the strength of this young nation would no longer be measured by unity alone, but by its ability to endure its own divisions. What happened here did not end in victory, and it did not end in defeat. It ended in something far more important, a realization. This young nation had just faced one of its first real tests and passed, but it also revealed something that could no longer be ignored. If a government could be challenged this easily, then something had to change. What had been revealed could not be ignored. Beneath the surface, the cracks were clear, and they ran deeper than anyone had wanted to admit. There was a government, but not one that could truly act. No clear authority, no unified direction, just uncertainty where strength was supposed to be. Even those in power could see it now. They gathered, they spoke, they debated, but they were not together. Not yet. The conversations had begun, but now the weight of it settled in. This was no longer just debate. Decisions were coming, and they would shape everything that followed. Some stepped back to think, to measure the risk, while others leaned in, knowing delay was no longer an option. The room had grown quieter, but far more serious. Because in the end, it would not be the voices of many that carried this forward, but the choices of a few. And those choices were getting closer. The decisions had been made, but that didn't mean they would be accepted. Across towns and villages, the conversations didn't stop. They spread. Men gathered in taverns and meeting places, weighing what this new direction would mean. Some saw hope, others saw risk, and not everyone was ready to move forward together. Because unity wasn't guaranteed, it had to be chosen, and until it was, everything remained uncertain. The conversations began to change. Where there had been doubt, there was now a willingness to listen. Across towns and meeting halls, voices that once clashed started to find common ground. Not all at once, and not without hesitation, but enough to begin moving forward. Because unity didn't arrive in a single moment, it was built slowly, through trust, through compromise, through people choosing to stand together. And with each step, that choice became stronger. They came together with purpose, not just to talk, but to build something that could last. Line by line, word by word, they shaped a new kind of government, one designed to hold even under pressure. It wasn't perfect, but it was deliberate, and it was theirs. In that room, something more than an agreement took form. It became a foundation, one meant to stand beyond them and carry a nation forward. The system they built was put to the test, not in theory, but in everyday life, and slowly it began to do what it was meant to do. Laws were carried out, leaders worked within it, and across towns and fields, people lived their lives with a sense of order that hadn't existed before. It wasn't flawless, but it endured. And in that endurance, a steady foundation took hold, strong enough to guide a nation forward, one generation at a time.